Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Tavern Times, a product of KLVD Studios. As always, I am the Game Master Kava, and this week we are going to be starting our player interviews. As you can see, Nissa Girl is passed out on my couch behind me. She had a very rough day yesterday. She was overplaying with my parents' dog all afternoon. But this week, we are going to be having one of my good buddies, Skylar. He's going to be chatting with us here about who he is and what he's going to be bringing to the table. And I'm going to be bringing him in here into the stream to chat in just a second. So this episode is essentially just going to be some interview questions. We are going to be learning a little bit more about Skylar as a player. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring Skylar in, and I'll let him introduce himself to everybody. Alright, Skylar, welcome to the show here. So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Alright, well, to kick things off, name's Skylar. I also do a little bit of YouTube, Qrow Luck. I was doing competitive Pokemon for a minute there, along with Celestial card packs openings for my shorts. I love the idea of Elestrals. It's another type of TCG that kind of combines Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic all together into one. I found it very intriguing, so I decided to start getting card packs, and I opened them. They have some amazing artwork. Other than that, I was thinking about also doing some RPG stuff on my channel. I'm looking at the Rune Factory series. Rune Factory, I believe I got 3 in the box that I'm going to save for an opening. I got the special edition for the Switch and all that. And then I got the newest Rune Factory that I got to start playing, and then I fell off just because between college and work and then trying to do YouTube on top of it, things were just so slammed that I've actually fell off of YouTube a little bit, but I'm going to try and get back into here. But yeah.
Alright, so I know you and I have known each other for a long time here. We're not going to get too personal into our questions here, but So tell me a little bit about your experience with tabletop RPGs.
So it's very limited in regards to tabletop. So when my first D&D, I can't really call it D&D because it wasn't D&D. For my first tabletop, it was Pathfinder a little bit. I played a paladin. He was like the uncle of the group, just making sure everyone stays in line. Keep everyone hopes up on top of keeping everyone protected. After that, I haven't done a Pathfinder since my first one. After that, I moved into a section called Demon Gate High, along with that runs off the Paragon system. So my cousin went to school, and his teacher actually created Demon Gate High, which was I found very interesting. It's a different concept on the tabletop experience. Your level decided what type of dice you roll. So it was that was my first actually getting into tabletops. I've gotten a little bit started to dabble touch into D&D or 5e, but I got little to no experience in the actual 5e and just D&D in general. So I've normally run the Demon Gate Paragon systems.
Alright, so, I mean, as I was telling my viewers this last episode that I posted the other day here, this campaign is going to be set in the Tales of the Valiant rule system, which is essentially, it's going to be a advanced 5e by Kobold Press, who I mentioned is one of my all-time favorite third-party publishers. I believe that they did a fantastic job with converting this during the whole OGL debacle. But regardless, I think it's gonna be a fun experience for everybody. Everybody in the party is going to be very new to the system, so we're all gonna be learning it as we go together here. But
Hmm.
from what I've read about it, and I've read all three of the books that are currently released, cover to cover, multiple times, so I feel like I am very, very fluent in this new system. But so, what is your favorite role to play in tabletop RPGs?
The roles that I'm most comfortable in, I'd have to say, would be pretty much a tank role, an attacker role. Um, like I said, my first character was a paladin, um, and then from there, I've really played like warrior type characters. I did get in a little bit of, I guess you can call it, I guess you can call it a wizard or sorcerer with a couple things in the Paragon system, which is psionics.
Okay.
Um, so I was one of my characters was a pyromancer, control fire, all that type of stuff. So I have a little bit of dabbling in that, but most comfortable I'm like the tank slash like attacker role. But
All
yeah.
right, cool. So, I know you briefly mentioned to me that you were looking at the Mechanist class.
Hmm.
What drew you to that Mechanist class?
What drew me into it is um, it kind of calls back to like the first type of character I always play in a tabletop series is a very defensive protector type role. So I'm not so much being a tank this time though. It's more protecting others around. When I was reading into the Mechnus, it's very similar to Artificer, I
Yep.
believe, is it in 5e. But I'm thinking about consistently building up people's armor, helping them, that sort of thing. So it's going to be my way of helping protect us on this journey, on top of, playing my usual starter role that will help me kind of get used to the game mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly interested in the Mechanist class myself. It brings a lot of unique stuff. It reminds me a lot of the original playtest of the Artificer in 5e that happened many, many years ago, and they eventually went away from it. But with that being said, what has been your favorite memory or favorite story or something that happened in a tabletop RPG game that you played?
Um, this has to be one of my most favorite memories. Is it's back in the Demon Gate slash Paragon system. Um, I'm not sure if this is directly from the Paragon system itself, but we had almost like action cards. I believe that was part of the Demon Gate system. And those action cards allow you to, like, say, get an extra attack or something like that. Something in regards that normally would be like a skill or something. Um, and you could play the card if it'll help out with a situation. They can be positive, they can be negative. So and some of the things were very DM discretion. So there's some where +2 to a roll, and that could just get you over the hump and getting a hit in on an opponent to finally take them down. There's also the biggest one is Big Disaster was one of the cards where it could just derail the entirety of a campaign for the day. So um, one of the things that happened was we were facing a dragon in the system. I forget what I don't think the colors matter in that system. But, basically trying to go for a special shot. I was um a pseudo samurai type deal with this, and I would like power myself up with like multiple attacks and stuff like that. Well, what I did for this, and this is kind of something that was at the DM discretion, my cousin who ran it, um, it was basically me unlocking the hidden potential of the sword. So basically, the special skills of the sword was locked away. So my I was able to basically stage me unlocking it with putting all my ki, we called it, into one attack to basically one shot the dragon. It helped that we had um, one of the cards was Ultimate Sacrifice. So I'd play that, and it basically gave me a boost at the cost of, in this case, it just knocked me out, thankfully. But I did Ultimate Sacrifice. It unlocked my hidden potential, and I one-shotted the dragon.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know much about the system myself here, but that's pretty crazy. Everybody everybody has their own unique take on their favorite memories, and hopefully we will continue to make more here. But so my next question for you, apart from being one of my closest friends, why do you think you were selected to be a part of this group? What are you going to bring to the table?
Um, my willingness to try anything and everything. Um, as we've experienced in the past, me and you know, I'm always down to try new things. And with you just starting this, I believe you selected me because you know I'll try my best to work with any system anytime. Just like when I was first getting into Magic, I think it was just like only the second time when we first played that I played Magic fully. So, you know, I'm always down to try and investigate, like flush out a system and see if how I can do in a system. So, I think that's why you kind of brought me in, is to make sure I kind of because you know I'll try my darndest to do the best I can in this.
All right, perfect answer. So, what are you looking forward to the most with this campaign?
Um, Most forward in this campaign is gonna be, I would say, just how this character flushes out. Um, this is gonna be my first, I guess you could call it like manic character. He's gonna be obsessed with technology, is the best way to put it. Um, so get to a new area, I'm immediately heading to the blacksmith or whatever type of tech guys they have. Whether it's I know one of the lines in the mechanics is imbuing with spells, so maybe I'll go investigate how to imbue spells into the armor, or in a sigil that could activate and give one of the swords our people use, or whatever they use for attacks, um, a boost. So it's going to be a very different take on my normal roles. Um, Normally, I'm just the fatherly, unclely uncle, basically, very protective, and will make sure we try and stay on the straight and narrow. Whereas this character is a little bit more. I'm tech crazy. I want to investigate everything and stuff like that. Like, it's mainly builds takes back away from the like parental supervision and tries to be part of tries to go back to being a kid. Like getting excited about for him it'd be Christmas morning, going and seeing a new tech. So, oh my God, there's new tech. I gotta go investigate. Versus, okay, guys, we need to do this, this, and this. It's more. He's more free to play versus like trying to keep things on the straight and narrow.
Okay, so you're going to be more, not necessarily chaotic, but you're going to be more focused on how things work and try to pretty much support your party with enhancing them. It sounds
Yes.
like. All right,
Yes.
cool, cool. So, as a new player coming in to one of my campaigns, obviously I've been GMing and DMing for a very long time. I don't think you've actually ever played in one of my games, but do you have any questions for me regarding my play style and how I run games or anything like that.
Um,
We're gonna leave questions about the system for a different episode,
all right.
but just in general, if you had any questions on how I ran things.
Um, I guess the question I would have is when looking at brand new characters or brand new players like myself learning a brand new system, how are you going to be towards making accidental mistakes or making a trip up, I guess you could call it.
You're dead. No. No. In all seriousness, in my last campaign I run, one of our other players, Jack, his now fiance, was brand new to 5e when we were playing our 5e campaign, and we're gonna work with people. Um, Whether I edit certain stuff out of the final video or not, we're gonna work as long as you guys are learning how to play and learning the system itself. I could care less if it takes you 20 times to figure out, oh, I can do this. We're gonna make it work.
All right.
I have no issue teaching people. I already have a feeling that the first few episodes they're gonna be a little bit on the rougher end in terms of mechanics until all of us get into the flow.
Right.
But so, unless you have any other questions for me as a game master here, do you have any final things that you want to say to our viewers out there as we move forward?
Um, Final things to say, I would say is I'm really excited about this campaign, learning this new system, and I'm excited for this character. Like we already kind of went over it. I believe the term for it's going to be a cobalt, a true scale. I believe is the definition that I
Okay.
went with.
Yep.
Um, so an actual like more humanoid cobalt, like as regards to height wise. So making him obsessed with shiny things, as far as I know, kind of like fits a cobalt in the like in the
Yes.
characters itself. So I thought it was like going to be a perfect mixture, especially it's my first cobalt. So
Yeah. The
I'm really
kobolds.
excited.
Yeah. Kobold Press does a very good job of highlighting kobolds, in their base book, in their world. Kobolds aren't draconic essences and worshipping dragons as much as in 5e original books. Uh, in my world, I'm playing it more off of the region. In
Hmm.
this current region of Northern Piscalla, in Northern Piscalla, kobolds are essentially rare, so you're gonna get some looks at you. Um, but they actually came over and they founded the Kingdom of Northern, or the Kingdom of Ishara, and it's gonna be on the coastal cities. They are master merchants, um, very very good shipbuilders, and they've kind of expanded into other areas of Northern Piscala, into other cities, especially in the Kingdom of Draymore, where there is a lot more, how do I put it, technologically advanced things.
Hmm.
So the Kingdom of Draymore is essentially the humanized kingdom of the world. There's going to be a lot of technologically advanced cities, kind of similar to how Eberron is in 5e and D&D lore. So you're going to see potentially some giant robots walking around that are protecting the cities. Whereas you got the Kingdom of Arlorn, who they're the generic elves. um, they're engaged in a very, very crazy war with the Kingdom of Draymore. So it's a battle of nature versus technology in Northern Piscala, and the Kingdom of Ashara is essentially just on the other side of the mountains,
Hmm.
past the Kingdom of Thalmir, which is the dwarves, and you got the Kingdom of Ashara pretty much just wanting to help control, and they're bringing magic items and different different merchant style things to the other kingdoms, whether they're Ashara or whether they're Draylorn, whether they're Draymore, whether they're Aralorn, Thalmir. They're pretty much Ashara is pretty much going to be the merchants of Piscalla. You're going to be able to find stuff from all over the kingdom of wow. You're going to be able to find stuff all over the world of Arasam. I can't talk this morning, everybody. But and it's my own damn world that I created. But the kingdom of Ashara essentially brings in items from all over the world of Arasam into Northern Piscalla.
Ooh, tech. That my character's gonna
Yes.
love that.
Oh, yes. So, with that, we are going to log off here. As always, everybody, I am Kava. I am your game master and your host. And this week, we had my good buddy Skylar on. And we will talk to you guys all later in a future episode here.
Have a good day, folks.